Hello once again. We are here with the Kenmore by White 117.959 sewing machine. This video segment is about how to do the upper threading, and we'll do a little sewing demonstration with it here in a moment. This threading of this machine is not exactly straightforward like many of these machines from this era are, or are not, as the case may be. The manual is not terribly clear, so I will show you what I have done. And at this point in time, I cannot say this is totally gospel, but you have the usual spool thread, and it comes forward. And this is where, if I can zoom in on this, it becomes a little questionable. There is that hook right there. There are three little prangs on the thing, and the best that I can figure out from what the manual says, you just run the thing underneath there. The manual makes it sound more complicated than it is, so either it's screwed up or I'm misinterpreting things. Then it goes down. Make sure that the presser foot is up while you're doing this. Let's see if we can zoom in a little tighter here. It's fairly easy to do this. Let me get a pointer here. Okay. You hook it right underneath this doodah right here, and then you wrap it around and pull it up alongside here, and the check spring is built into that, and it will just catch the check spring on its way up. And then it's pretty much simply a matter of going up to the wrong direction, take up lever, and then back down, and the usual thing with getting it through the guide above the needle and through the needle, and etc., and get it ready to go. So now we're going to try sewing with this thing for the very first time and see what happens. Stand by. Okay, let's see what happens. This is the very first time I've attempted to sew with this thing, and if you're actually watching this, it will have been a success, because if you're not watching this, I will have fixed whatever and tried it again. So I am going to feed a piece of test cloth in underneath here. The machine's all threaded up, and the bottom thread has been brought up, and we'll see here, get my hand out of the picture here, and we lower that away, and let's just do this by hand and see what happens here. And oh, by the way, as I've noted before, this machine sounds a little bit on the growly side because of the very old and hard motor drive wheel. A new one is on order and will quieten it down considerably. But with that said, we got the machine on forward. Let's crank it over. Now it's feeding cloth. Now it looks like it's stitching. Stand by. Let's take a look here. Yes, it is stitching. One thing that the manual does not make particularly clear is how to place the wound bobbin in the shuttle and thread the shuttle. They actually do not have a picture of that, and they instead tell you that the machine came with the shuttle already threaded, to take a look at that and make sure you do it that way. That's really great 60 years in the future when we don't have an example. But anyway, I placed the wound bobbin into the shuttle. The manual does not state which way the thread should come off the top, to the right or to the left, so I put it to the left so that it's a counterclockwise rotation, and the thread comes through this little slot right here. You pull it up in there, and then you take it across to the other side of this doodah, and you'll find a little slot over there, and you just sort of pull it in and pull it up, and it exits right out the top. It's pretty straightforward. once you figure it out. And the other thing I wanted to make note of was, because the manual doesn't state this either, is if you take a look at the bobbin winder tire right there, that actually is a standard Singer bobbin winder tire, part number 15287. You can find them anywhere, which is really nice. And this machine also uses standard 15x1 needles, which you can get anywhere. That also is very nice. And this is the shuttle placed into the hook and race assembly. You will notice that the little lever that is on the bottom, about the 530 position, that must be lifted up with one hand while the shuttle assembly is placed in the race with the other, which for my first attempt at that was a little bit of a fumble, but I'm sure it gets better once you get used to it.